The Forest for the Trees, India's Environment Challenge. The Gathering Clouds. I meet on Anantha Padmanabhan, Executive Director of Greenpeace, on a forecast evening in Bangalore, and I arrive for our meeting just as it is beginning to drizzle. Anantha rides over his bicycle, which is how he travels everywhere, braving the dangers of city's messy traffic and its jaywalkers. Anantha and I have met to chat about the weather, which in the last few years has ceased to be an easy time filler topic. It is quite possible, he tells me, that everything we have explained about the world climate may come tumbling down around our ears in our lifetime. Not so long ago, he would have sounded extreme. Till the 1990s, environment was at best a marginal topic, one tied up with the motions of social responsibility and green activism, but it has morphed with disconcerting speed in the serious global concern that now drawn enormous political heat. Governments have always given long-term concerns such as environment short shrift, focused as they are on monthly polls and quarter trade and inflation numbers. Clearly, then, for the environment to have guided the level of the global political and public uh, public attention it now has is a sign of crisis that looms too large to be ignored. Even our personal experiences with the climate have changed in the disturbing ways. Globally, we are experiencing soaring temperatures, shorter winters, and unseasonal rainstorms. Karl Pope, a leader of the environmental movement in the United States and the executive director of the Sierra Club, tells me previously climates were tied to particular places. You have wintry regions and summery towns. Now there is no such thing as a particular climate for a place. It has become completely variable and unpredictable, and at the extreme, climate change is playing a role in war and political unrest. Darfur, for example, is caught as a in a drought-induced civil war, triggered in part by changing rainfall patterns and competition for the remaining fertile lands. The violence in Somalia and the Ivory Coast has also emerged from a single oppressive mix of water and food shortages. There is now a growing consensus for action among the world scientists that we must tackle these accelerating trends of climate change across the planet. Climate papers and studies betray a rising sense of alarm within their dry paragraphs, and their extrapolations predict natural disasters within this century. During the Rio and Kyoto discussions, the sense of urgency was less, and the 2% contracts for emission reductions to the agreement reflected that. Shiv Someshwar, an environmental research scientist and the director of Asia Pacific Program at Columbia's Earth Institute, tells me how, but now people are worried. For India, however, the rising global consciousness on the environment comes at a very inconvenient time. India is growing quickly, guzzling coal, gas, oil in large quantities as it plays catch up with the developed world. Our emissions are rising fast, matching our growth spikes, and the new popularity of emissions curbs in the developed countries seems to direct with the India's interests.